Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's RVP Gang, RVP Nation, RVP Boxing, RVP MMA, and it's like nighttime over here, but, I thought I'd come out with a little best bet, like I did last time, best bet for every single fight, specifically best prop bet. Should be able to find these props on other sites, Prizepicks, Betr, Underdog, all that type of stuff. Some of these picks will carry over, some of them won't. They might be a little adjusted, but it's fine. I want to definitely make this one quicker because last time I took like ages to make it. Like it was like an hour long, but I'm already yapping in the intro. Let me get straight to it. Then it's Tallulah going up against Cedricus Dumas. In this matchup, I have Cedricus Dumas over 80.5 fantasy points. Even though he hasn't crossed this in his entire career, he's facing by far his worst opponent out of them. It seems like he's getting a layup in this matchup. He's a big favorite. Tallulah can't compete with him anywhere. Dumas is better in the striking, better in the grappling a lot. I expect him to go out there and get a quick sub, but he could go out there and knock him out. He has the power, and he has all the tools to do it. So give me Dumas over 80.5 fantasy points. Next one, I got Bedoya versus Herbert. I have Bedoya over 59.5 significant strikes. He's a volume guy. I know Herbert is a clean striker, but, he fights like Leon a little bit. He's measured on the feet, and I expect Bedoya to come out here and, really put the pace on Jai Herbert. And barring that he goes out there and gets knocked out, he should be able to cross this. I don't really see either guy finishing the fight. I see Bedoya just putting the volume like he has his last two opponents, Keenan and Williams, and just doing something similar and cruising to a 30-27 decision. So give me the Peruvian to go over 59.5 significant strikes. Next one, Sam Hughes going up against Dudakova. I got Dudakova under 5 minutes and 30 control time. Now, honestly, I'm kind of confused why the line's even this high, why she's higher for the control time, because Sam Hughes, in my opinion, is the better grappler in this matchup. I know Dudakova has shown her grappling. She had like 10 minutes of control time in her Dana White Contender Series fight. But in this matchup, Sam Hughes is looking to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to out-grapple her. So Dudakova, I think the smart thing to do, same thing she did in the Jinu Frey fight, is go out there and just try to out-strike her. I think she's going to be better on the feet. And, for a lot of these matchups, like, you can't really try to pretend like you know how someone's going to fight. But what you can do is you can look at the tape and see, here's some weaknesses of the other fighter. You expect the other fighter to exploit those. And I think Dudakova, she should know she's a better striker. She carries power in her hands, and she should know that if she makes this a grappling matchup, that she's giving Hughes a chance. So I expect her to go out there, keep distance, stay away from Sam Hughes grappling, and just outstrike her. And that game plan doesn't involve too much control time. Could she end up on top of her for a couple minutes? Maybe, but I don't see Sam Hughes as a fighter. She's not going to give up. And yeah. So yeah, give me Dudakova under 5 minutes 30 control time. Vucinic versus Kudalate. This one can't say I'm too confident about it because Vucinic is coming in on short notice. But for this fight, it's kind of risky, but I do have Guram Kudalate under 77.5 fantasy points. Last three fights actually he's gone under this. Granted, these are like really good fighters. Brenner is a very good fighter. Ishmael Gulab is a very good fighter. Gamrot, but Guram Kudalate tends to, when he's in these fights, tends to not really separate himself too much. The Brenner fight was pretty good, but then obviously he gassed out, and we did see in that fight that he was able to get out grappled and taken down by Brenner. Guram's touted as this well-rounded guy. Didn't really show that in that matchup. He showed that he had really good striking though. From the tape I saw with Vucinic in Cage Warriors, he has solid striking. He's the bigger guy in this matchup. Good kicks, good hands, and a really good wrestler, really dominant grappler. So honestly, my official prediction on Tapology was Vucinic to get a sub in round 2. But I can overall just see this fight playing out close. I don't see Kudalate coming in and running through this guy. I think it'll probably go to a decision, probably. And in that scenario, it could go either way. But even if Kudalate was to go out there and get a win, I can't really see him separate himself too much. Maybe land a couple strikes, but he's not going to get any control time. So I think the upside, honestly, for the fantasy points is probably on the Vucinic side. But I can't quite get to doing his over just because he's on short notice. So I'm playing the safer route, taking the guy who's a little higher and doing him under. So give me Guam Kulate to continue being a mid fighter. Next one, we got Dontel Mays going up against Shamil Gatsiev. For this fight, I just see that Shamil Gatsiev is better than Dontel Mays everywhere. I expect him to go out there and get a first-round knockout. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. You could go and do the under on 230 control time because I do think the way to beat Mays is, you could take him down, but I feel like Shamil Gatsiev hits so hard. He has so much power, and you look at the last couple guys Mace has fought, his fight log. Machado, no power. Nascimento, no power. Arlovsky, no power. Sakai, no power. Abdul Wahab, no power. Parisian, no power. Like, all these guys, even Gon doesn't really have any pop to his punches. Shamil Gatsiev by far is the best puncher that he's ever fought, most powerful guy, and he's reacting terribly to their punches. Imagine what he's going to do when Gatsiev hits him. So even though Gatsiev had that little road bump against Jairzinho Rosenstrike, I think in this fight he's looking to bounce back against, honestly, a very capable guy with a lot of potential. He can't shake things up. He has a very long reach, pretty athletic for his size. Could cause Gatsiev some problems early on, but that first punch, like, he might just shell up and just go down to the ground. So I just see him being better everywhere, better wrestler, better, power puncher, and it's just something that Dontel Mays hasn't seen in his career. So give me Gatsiev over 91.5 fantasy points. Next one, we got Kyle Fernandez going up against Muhammad Yahya. And for this matchup, like I said, not too confident because from everything I've heard this week, everyone's saying Kyle Fernandez is going to kill this guy. Muhammad Yahya's a bum. But for the tape I saw, like, I think people are overrating Kyle Fernandez, like, way too much. I don't think he's like that special of a fighter. I think he's decent, but I can definitely see this fight playing out super close. Like, I don't see Kyle Fernandez, this elite guy who's just going to go out there and smoke Yahya. Yahya, not the best durability, but he has some, good all-around game, good ground game, good kicks, good punches. He has some power to his punches as well. Kyle Fernandez, he has some decent hands. He's pretty flashy, but he can be taken down in control. We saw that in the Diakisi fight, and I don't know. I'm just not that blown away. Even like the LFA fights, like, he's okay, but he shouldn't be 94.5 inches. But like, I don't honestly, I don't even think that he finishes him. I think he goes to a decision, and if he goes to a decision, he's not getting to 94.5. So give me Kyle Fernandez. I think his fantasy point score is way too high. I really don't understand it. I think on the feet it's close. I think on the ground it's close. I think both these guys are like, they're mid, not mid, but like, neither guy is that good. Like, so for someone to be that high of fantasy points, for you to be so confident in one way than the other, I think it's disrespectful to Yahya, especially with the fight being, I hate to mention it, but the fight is in Abu Dhabi. They want to get this kid over. This is their only chance, and yeah, I'm not necessarily picking Yahya, but like I said, all I need is for this fight to go a little longer than it's supposed to, and I think Yahya can do that and even win the fight. So give me that. Next fight, we have Alonzo Menifield going up against Mirzakhanov. Another fight, honestly, you could go with the over 90.5 fantasy points. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm going to go safer route. I think no matter how this fight plays out, and I love bets like this. I love stuff that's not like necessarily dependent on who wins. Like, there's multiple scenarios where this like plays out. I think Alonzo Menifield, no matter what happens, I don't think he's going to land 0.5 takedowns. I think the guy, he's just not that good of a wrestler. To be honest, Azamat has, wrestling pedigree. So whatever Menifield throws at him, and it's not going to be much. The guy's not that crazy good of a wrestler. And he hasn't even, wrestled that much in his career. He'll land one here, maybe not land one there. So he's an okay guy. That's got to be the takedown. That's got to be the strategy going into this fight, going up against a heavy-handed guy like Azamat. But honestly, I just see Azamat doing something similar to what Carlos Ulberg did, just catching this guy. He's chinny, gets finished a ton, not the best durability. And Azamat, I think he's just another guy for Menifield to finish. And yeah, that's really it for the breakdown. Can't really say too much, man. I just don't see him getting not even one takedown. I think he'll get knocked out before then. So, and even if the fight goes long, I can't see him having success with the wrestling at all. Okay, Elvis Brenner going up against Joel Alvarez. Shoot. All right, my pick is Joel Alvarez. Okay, this is kind of risky, but I'm going to go with the under on 90 seconds of control time. I know it's risky, but you got to hear me out here. I don't think Joel Alvarez should even mess with Elvis Brenner on the ground. And if anything, he'll probably just get taken. I think Brenner will be the one trying to wrestle, if anything. Or maybe he won't. I don't know. But I don't see Joel Alvarez initiating grappling exchanges in this fight. I think even though he is dangerous, I think he has a massive advantage on the feet. Brenner's chinny. This guy would get knocked down by Augusta. He's a tough guy, but he's very chinny. And with Joel Alvarez, with all that length, with all that size, you know, with the power that he has on the feet, and Brenner not being that tough, being a little chinny, being, you know, kind of wild on the feet too. I think his best path to victory is striking with this guy. You know, when it gets to the ground, you know, he can get kind of wild. You know, stuff can happen. And Brenner's a phenomenal wrestler. I think his best strategy is to just stay at length and just not really mess with this guy on the ground. So give me Joel Alvarez under 90 seconds of control time. Things can happen. He could, maybe Brenner takes him down and Joel Alvarez reverses the position, but I don't know. I think the game plan should be to strike with Brenner and knock him out. And I hope that's what he does. But, you know, this guy has a ton of submissions, but a lot of times when he's submitting guys, he's in bad positions, like he's on the bottom getting wrestled, and then he gets the sub. So I think it plays out cash in many different ways. For this fight with Dern and Godinez, this one, another one where I'm just kind of seeing the matchup and seeing how I think it's going to play out. Like I said, I think Dern, man. I think Dern, she's going to go over her significant strikes here. She's going up against another wrestler or another grapple-heavy girl. And I think in this matchup, like, Dern's wild. She loves to throw hands. And with this matchup, I think both girls are going to respect each other's ground games and they're going to stand up there and strike, you know. Because I think if Godinez, she's doing herself a disservice, like, going to the ground against Dern. Dern's crazy on the ground. She has really good submissions. I think Dern, too, like, Dern knows how good Godinez is. And she's honestly not that good of an offensive wrestler. I think Lupi can stuff the takedowns that Dern has coming. So I think they're going to be forced to strike with each other. And with that, you know, I think Godinez is probably a little better of a striker. But Dern's tough, man. She went 3 rounds with Amanda Lemos, nearly got finished in that fight. Really got saved with her wrestling in that one. But Lemos is a terrible wrestler. She's not like Godinez. But I think, yeah, Dern's going to be forced to strike, and she's going to have to go out there and really put hands on Godinez. She's going to be wild. She's going to be throwing volume, and she's going to be looking to finish the fight. But I think it goes 3 rounds. I think it's going to end up being like maybe fight of the night, you know, a very wild, exciting fight. And in that scenario, Dern goes over 51.5 significant strikes. So give me that. Next one, we're at main card, I think. Or it might have already been main card. We got Chiesa Ferguson. With this one, I got Chiesa under 31.5 significant strikes. She's not much of a striker in his matchups. Hasn't gone over that in like a while. And I don't see it to be any different. I think Chiesa knows that Ferguson, even though he is on that losing streak, he did drop Chandler. He did drop who he dropped? Chandler and Bobby Green. Those guys are better strikers. I think those guys are better strikers than Chiesa, low-key. So Chiesa should just be looking to grapple in this matchup, not really mess with Ferguson on the feet. Because I think, honestly, Ferguson has the ability to knock him out. So I think Chiesa's just going to go out there and try to grapple Ferguson and get an early sub. And, you know, considering that Green was able to do it, no reason why Chiesa can't. So, like I said, I don't really think he should mess with Ferguson too much on the feet. That opens up the avenue for him to lose in a fight where he's like a minus 600 favorite. So just take the path of least resistance and grapple this guy, Chiesa. I'm begging you. All right, next fight. We have Figgy Vera. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people picking Vera. I'm not really sure why. But I have a pretty confident pick. I feel like Figgy over 1.5 takedowns. I feel like that's a free line, you know. Obviously, he's been up and down with that. In the Cody fight, I don't know how he didn't go over the 1.5 in that fight, but I think I might have picked him to do that. But in this matchup, Vera's a tough guy. He's never been finished. I feel like this fight, my official pick is Figgy by sub, but I'm not sure how likely it is to happen because Vera's never been finished. But, I mean, if this fight goes to a decision, Figgy's definitely going to out-wrestle this guy and take him down. Vera's never been sub before, so he'll probably just hang in there and just not get subbed. But I could see this going, 2 rounds. Like, first round, Figgy takes him down, controls him, and then second round, he has a little more success and subs him. But if it goes to a decision, the guy's never been finished, I think Figgy can go out there and have a dominating wrestling performance out there. Same thing that Corey did. I mean, Corey, he's supposed to be the striker out there, and he was able to take down Cheeto Vera with ease. And that's not really a good look. Now you're going to a fight with a guy who can really grapple. And this is not the first time Vera's had struggles, in the grappling. But for it to happen against Corey and for there to be, no resistance, Cheeto's a very slow starter. Figgy's going to get after it early and, put on that wrestling and grappling pace and get those 2 takedowns for us. So, yeah, give me Figgy over 1.5 takedowns. I think that line's on Prizepicks and everywhere, so definitely hop on that. All right, next one's a little controversial. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. We'll see. But I got Shara Magomedov under 98.5 fantasy points. I think Mikhail Olajaychik will knock out Shara Bullet Magomedov, but to hedge myself, because I think I said this with the Blades fight. That went horribly, though. I had 2 picks like that, and they ended up going over. So don't take my word for it, because stuff can happen. But I'll never do something like this if I don't think that the other guy has a chance to win. I legitimately think that Mikhail Olajaychik will knock out Shara Magomedov. I think he's going to struggle with the pace of of Mikhail, putting him on the back foot, putting him up against the cage, where he can't use his best attribute, kicks. We've seen notorious kickboxers get pushed up against the cage, and they're left to do is box, and they're just not good boxers. And Shara's really not that good of a boxer if you really look at his career. He doesn't have the hand speed, all that type of stuff. He's much better. He's predominantly a kicker. He relies heavily on that stuff, man. He loves to kick. If he could just chop his arms off and just be a fighter, I think he would do that. This guy loves to just kick. And if Mikhail can just eliminate that part of his game and put him on the back foot, it's gonna look really ugly. Mikhail hits hard. People forget, even though he did get subbed by Kevin Holland, he dropped him and then fell into a submission. So this guy is low-key finish prone. He just finds a way to get finished. But Shara's not gonna Shara's not gonna sub him. This guy's terrible on the ground. McCall also has the option to really wrestle this guy, because he gets taken down by pretty much. He gets taken down by a gust of wind if he's not grabbing the cage. He probably should have got taken down in the Tricali fight. He showed decent takedown defense, but he grabbed the cage notoriously in that fight, and they was able to stay up. So if Mikhail wrestles, he could win the fight by wrestling. I think he can win the fight really good by pushing him up, put him on his back foot, and just boxing with him, showing off that power. This guy can crack, man. Y'all can, trash on him for getting finished and all this type of stuff, but this is a style that I don't know if Shara's seen yet, and this is low-key a step up in competition. So maybe Shara can stay at distance and, use those kicks, but eventually, man, he's going to succumb to that pressure, and I think he's going to get knocked out low-key. And it sucks, it's not that I want this guy to lose. I'm not a Shara hater at all. This is no, vendetta to my pick. I don't like the style for him. Probably would have been better fighting, I don't know, another kickboxer. I'm not really sure. This is just a really bad stylistic matchup for him. So give me Shara Bullet under 98.5. Oh, yeah, and not to mention, he's gone under this in 2 dominating performances. So there's also that possibility that he wins by decision, and doesn't go over. So, but I doubt that. If he wins, he'll probably just finish Olajaychik, because Olajaychik gets finished by everybody. Okay, main event for this fight, Umar Nurmagomedov. I got Umar under 87.5 significant strikes. Umar is just not, he's never even crossed this in his career. And I expect Umar to go out there and get an early finish, but he's not going to want to stay on the feet too much with Corey Sandhagen. He got touched in the Bekzat fight, immediately went to the wrestling, didn't even want to play there. I think that could happen in this fight, and that's going to, trigger Umar to fight really smart. I think he knows how dangerous Corey is, especially with the kicks. Not really with the hands, but, with the kicks for sure. Kicks, knees, all that type of stuff. I think he knows how dangerous Corey is. Although he does have that Barcelos knockout, I think that really inflated his ego. I can strike with everybody. I think Umar knows, Corey got it like that, man. He's a very good striker. I'm not going to say he's a top 5 striker like I said a year ago. That was kind of a wild statement, but he's a very good striker, and that's, if Umar's smart, I'm sure they crafted a really good game plan for him. Umar knows that the grappling's where to go. And with grappling, usually, I think you can land significant strikes on the ground, but a lot of those strikes don't get counted as significant. You know, distance strikes are usually counted as significant, but the ground and pound stuff and the pitter patter shots, they go to total strikes, not significant strikes. So as you can see in these fights, he's dominating guys on the ground, winning by decision even in the Manis fight, and doesn't land that. I don't foresee this fight going 5 rounds, to be honest. I think Umar would have found a finish by then, but even if it does, you know, I could honestly see him still going under this. So, yeah, give me Umar, wrestle heavy style, getting the early finish, getting a decision, and just not landing that many strikes. So, yeah, that's really it for this video. Kept it short and sweet. You know, last time we kind of yapped a lot, but, you know, this time we're just getting straight to the point. Leave a like on the video. Last time we went 9-5, I think. We're going to do way better this weekend. I did my research. You know, we're going to crash the, I mean, I think we sweep. I think we go 13-0. But we got to see, though. We got to see. Because I was very confident last time. That obviously didn't go my way. But shout out to Bilal Muhammad. Shout out to Umar by a two-piece. You know, because obviously I got that main event pick right. We will see if we get this right. Under 87.5 significant strikes. That's all I got for y'all. So leave a like on the video. Subscribe. Peace out, Mo Squire. You know what it is.